There was actually an article it was on the website, Inc. or Entrepreneur, where they're actually talking about the statistics of the high rate of mental illness in entrepreneurs. And again, mental illness is one of those things where I don't like the term mental illness. I prefer the term mental advantage. Because a lot of these labels that people give people who have mental illness, and oftentimes they're just describing, certain characteristics and behaviours that are considered different from other people. Does this make sense? When you look at, in some cases, ADHD is a great example. Dyslexia is another great example.
Just a little bit about me. I was diagnosed with ADHD and dyslexia at the age of 7. For those of you who don't know what ADHD means that I have an untapped amount of energy to be able to focus on multiple projects at any one time. And dyslexia means that I have the unique ability to look at every situation, problem, and opportunity in a different way, very different from most other people around me, to see the things that others can't. Does this make sense? Because a lot of people think those things are bad, but they're actually really, really powerful if you tap into them the right way.
So I've gone and I've done a lot of research on bipolar, Asperger's, autism, and I find really interesting is if 100% of people in this room did the general bipolar assessment, what do you think would come out the other end? Probably about between 80 to 90% of you would be indicated as either low level, mid level, or depending some cases more on the spectrum of bipolar. And I find that really interesting because bipolar can be one of those conditions that can really serve people when it comes to being an entrepreneur. Does this make sense? Because bipolar means you have up days and you have down days. And I don't know about you, but there are some days where I have loads of energy and there are some days that I'm very reflective. And I prefer to use that to my advantage rather than give it a label that says that I have some form of an illness. Does this make sense?
In fact, it's a very common trait with self-made entrepreneurs is they suffer from, I should say, they enjoy ADHD and dyslexia. And do you know what? I tell people this story and I have people coming in the back of the room at the end of the program, at the end of nights, and they're going, Kerwin, you don't understand. I want to be really successful, but I don't have ADHD.
So I think when we look at mental illness as an entrepreneur, when we look at what actually amplifies the illness component, what do you think amplifies the illness component of mental illness?
Stress.
Stress. And what do you think amplifies stress? Business. No, business doesn't amplify stress. Business is not stressful at all. It's our perspective on the events in our business that create the stress. It is the frame through which we view the movie. Is that a sunrise or is that a sunset? Is that a massive failure that is catastrophic, or have I finally now just learnt the lesson that I need, that hurt a little bit, that makes me want to embrace it a little bit more to go to that next level? The amplification of whether it be stress or illness is really governed by our perspective. And if you can have a perspective that every single thing in your life is serving you, and that you're grateful for every single event in your life, you actually experience, in some cases, no stress whatsoever. And what do you think is required in order to be grateful for all the bad things that are going on in your life right now, as well as the good things? The right perspective. Just frame things differently. Choose the frame for the events that are happening that you want them to wear in order to regulate in a more healthy way.
Hey guys, it's Kerwin here, and I'll be really honest with you, I was a little bit nervous about posting this video. Mental illness is a subject that's very close to my heart. It's affected not just people in my family, but also in my friends and my network. And I didn't want to downplay, the effects and the impacts that mental illness has on people. I didn't want to generalize too much, as I may have done in the video about bipolar just having good days and bad days. I know there's a lot more to it, but please understand the intent of this video is to serve anyone, regardless of the situation, but especially those who might need it more than anyone. I hope this hits home.